how it would be with Baba from morning till evening. It is so difficult a question to answer, because with Baba it was ever a fresh day. But despite that, there would be the routine that was attached and involved with his physical form. So I can describe that. Otherwise, every day would be a new day with something new happening every time. So, well, we'll first of all try to describe, you see, about his beginning the day. Now, how will he begin the day? Is it the day that we begin with sunrise and end with sunset? That would be wrong with him, because his day never began with sunrise and never set with sunset. It was a continuous affair. So we have to begin it with sunset in order to come to the morning hours. Really speaking, he would go for rest, but he wouldn't sleep, the sleep that man sleeps. His sleep was always the awake state. So now it's dusk time, and he's here in this hall, or it might be at Meherazad, or it might be somewhere on the tour, anywhere. Not necessarily he is always here, but this place and the other places here in Meherazad are his headquarters when he was in Ahmednagar after 43. So take it for granted that he's here, and the Mandali are here with him. It is now time for him to go to his room there. So he is preparing now, and it's ready. So he will just signal this way. That means whistle. So the whistle from here would indicate that Baba is leaving this hall, so that the women are ready now to receive him. So we get up with him. If he has the pleasure to walk the distance, after his accident, I'm saying things about his daily affairs after his accident. So he'll take the support of Francis or Bhau or one of the Mandali and gradually stroll, you see. If he has the pleasure to sit on a chair, that sedan chair that you have with the handles, then he would be seated on the chair. The chair is brought here. He's made to raise from the seat there, put there comfortably, and then he's ready to leave. So we lift the chair, 4 of us, and take him there. In a procession, we go.
What the other people do?
The other people would follow him.
They'd go, everybody
Yeah,
would go?
yeah.
The port.
Yeah. In a procession, we'll go and leave him there by the time some of the women are ready there to receive him on the veranda there. So then we leave the chair there, and then we say, we fold our hands. There was no question of saying any Jai Baba to Baba, you see. Yeah, because Baba ever remains the victorious one. Jai means victory. So we wish amongst ourselves as Jai Baba, victory to Baba. But to him who is ever the victorious, it's ridiculous. So we just silently fold our hands and bow a little. And that is a departure, and Baba does that, and he looks behind, you see, and waves, you see. Every day it will be a renewed activity, you see. This is evening, I'm telling you. But I begin it with the evening, because day begins with him at the evening, you see. So now, we have left him over there. While on our way to him, to keep him there or leave him there, so while he's seated here, he gives us a little program. He just points at different Baba Mandali people, asking them to be alert about their timings. So every time the watches would change. Watch means keeping a watch near Baba, not the clocks. So the timings he would give, you see, that he would want Bhau to say, come at about, say, 6:30, would say, to be in his room there with him, till, say, about 9, 10. From 10 o'clock, you be there. From 10 to 12 or 1 o'clock, you will be there. From 1 to 3, somebody else. From 3 to 6, somebody else. Every time, all days, there was somebody, some man near him there during the whole hours of the night. So that he has fixed, and we all leave him there and come back. And of course, while coming back, you know how, you must have seen herd of cattle going back home, you know, how they are, you know, with their pranks and all that. We just jump and shout and laugh. We are away now, you see. So we are returning to our stables, so to say, you see, and now waiting a nice dinner or something like that, or we have to have a bath, or those who are addicted to smoke cigarettes, you see, they are anxious to go and have a puff there, and somebody wants to go to the toilet or something, and you know how it is. All are free now, you see. So we return in a jolly mood, and some are sullen, you see, because some reprimanding was there or something. It all depends upon the different moods. So we return. And each to his own, and now they are there. The one who is supposed to be there by 6 o'clock or 6:30, naturally he is in a hurry to finish off his chore and his food and all that. So he has a special privilege, you see, to have the first bath, to have the entry to the toilet for the first time, you see, there means preference is given to him. So that's how he's ready, and he dresses himself, you see, now on duty. While he's here, he is just without even a t-shirt. But when he goes there in the presence of the Lord now to do his duty, because the day begins, you see that. Although it's night here, earth time, so he's ready with his torch and everything, you see, with a paper and pencil and all that, you know.
And now, shirt?
And shirt, of course, and nice pajama, just as I'm dressed now, you see.
But when you sit here, you didn't wear that with him.
Yeah, no, there's nothing. It's all very informal there. That's home here, you see. There's the office, the Lord's room, you see. So it might sound paradoxical, but you want to know, isn't it, how we passed a day with Baba. So this is how it is. So don't take it that it's a fantasy or I'm just giving a yarn. It's a fact. So then we are ready now. So take, for instance, Bhau is there, who goes. So he's ready there. Naturally, he's, you know, what do you call a horse who is prepared to go? What do you call it?
Prancing?
No, not prancing. Champing?
Champing at the
Champing there. He's there, yes, he's eager, you know. So all of a sudden, there's a bell ringing, you see, and then he starts, because that's the sign that he's called.
Right.
Yeah. In the meantime, what must have happened there, we don't know, because we had no entry there, you see, from the time that we left him on the veranda. But I can tell you that what must have happened there, you see, because when Baba is not with the women, it was my chore to look after his body, you see. So what must be happening there is just this, that well, as soon as he goes from there, you know, then he must have had his seat there on the sofa there, you know, in the drawing room. So he sits there. Or if he has a pleasure to go straight to the dining table, so he is made to sit there, you see. So Mehra comes and conducts, you see. He takes the support of Mehra, sometimes with money, and the women again in a procession lead him there to the dining hall or to the sofa seat. He sits there. Then no sooner he goes, he's very particular. He says, well, what's the time now? That was the usual thing. So they see, and it says, Baba, it's about 5:45. What's the food today? What's the preparation, you see? What is it? What have you cooked? He calls Naja, because she is the cook. So Naja goes on describing, I've done this and then. You haven't got anything there, the favorites of his, you see, dishes, you see, which are like bhajia, or say bhaji and dal. So he makes a wry face, you see. Or if it is so, then he smiles, you know, like a perfect person, you know. It's like that. He has come, you see, from here now. He's ready to sit there for his meal. So that's how it is. Then it says, still time there, money, anything new, money, have you got anything to read and all that? So he says, yes, Baba, here is this book or that book. So Baba selects something to be read to him. Then if he is conducted to the dining table. Or he might say he would like to be here and a table is brought there and food is served. Or he might want to go to his bedroom there and sit on the bed there and the table is brought there to serve and served. It all depends upon the wishes. So that's how it was. And then the food is served. But before he is served the food, you see, like so many others, you see, he is put, what do you call that, big piece of, a bib is put around him, you know. Because his habit of eating would be just here and there, you know, all the grains and rice and everything would be right on the table, you see. So he'll just do this or nip at this or that and so forth. So the bib is always put there so that his clothes are not soiled, you see. Or nothing, no food particles are spread on his body or anything of the sort. So a bib is always put there. So he eats. After washing his hands, of course, he's particular. Or the women are particular, or we are particular that he washes his hands. So that is common. Then he eats his food. While he is eating, he just distributes a morsel here and there. See how does it taste? It tastes nice. It's good. Naja, it's perfect. You've done well. Or it tastes insipid. What's this today? You've forgotten this or that. You see? It's like that. So it goes on. Just as ordinary human beings. But he being perfect, it is so natural for him to be so. That's how we found, you see. Although he was God-man, God in human form, yet he was so natural, so much a man, that we never found anything unnatural there, what he did, you see. So that was taken graciously, you see, whether it was a praise or whether it was just a pointing towards a sort of a slip made by the cook or anything like that. And then Mani would be reading things out, you see, and he would enjoy the reading. He might ask her to repeat a particular paragraph or something like that, and that's all over. Then he's ready now, washes his hands and all that, and he's in a hurry now to go to his bedroom, say. So he is conducted there. As soon as he is being conducted to the bedroom, as I told you, the bell rings. And here, Bhau is waiting there, naturally goes there. So he goes there, and Baba is found seated on his bed there. So sometimes he's so absorbed, Baba, with what we don't know. So when we enter, it was our habit to open the door very quietly and enter the room. So he's seen there, you see. So naturally, depending upon his mood, we just remain standing. So after a few minutes, maybe 2 minutes or 5 minutes or anything, then as if he takes notice, you see. So he looks at us, at somebody who is there deputed for the duty. So you come, what's the time? So time is right, perfect, everything is perfect. Then Baba goes on, you see, seating and chatting, anything. How was the day, what had happened to that person or anything like that. Or when Bhau is there, Bhau is interested in ghazals and poetry, so he might dictate some lines, you know, with rhyme. Bhau finds it difficult, you see, to rhyme a certain line, so Baba prompts him with a proper word or something like that. And it goes on. There's a natural flow of conversation and all that. It's getting dark now.
Now, would you tell us how you would talk with Baba?
In our own language.
No, but I mean, he would gesture and you would say what he said and then you'd answer what you said?
Yeah, the thing is that whenever he gestured, it was not taken for granted. What we had to do was to repeat his gesture.
Out loud?
Yeah, it was not an answer. First of all, whatever he said had to be repeated. And then we had to answer. You see that?
So how would that go?
Baba would say that, well, have you written that couplet? Did you remember, you see, the word that rhymed with that? So naturally Baba would say, the word that rhymed. Yes, Baba, I have got that word now. So that's how it would be, you see.
But you wouldn't repeat the whole thing, but just the
But
essence.
yeah, the essence,
To make
or
sure it means.
sometimes it might be the whole thing. It depends upon what the subject is. Yeah, how complicated a subject is, you see. So it's like that. In order to ascertain for oneself what he says is right, whether we are interpreting it correctly, so it is necessary. So we repeat it halfway or the whole sentence of it. So then it goes on. Then, of course, Baba says it's time now, he would like to retire. So then, of course, every time, invariably, every day it was. So now you tell the person, you see, keep your eyes wide open, don't make a noise, don't budge, sit down quietly, be at one place and all that. So it would be, yes Baba, yes. And then Baba would just lie down in bed, you see. And then the one who is on duty would put the sheet on his body and lie down. So he is made to sit there. So with the torch at one place, he just takes his position as a statue. And with that position, hours might pass by, or a few minutes might pass by. But every time, you see, it was just one position there. Whether there are mosquitoes, or black ants, or red ants, or anything of the sort, you see. So it was there. In the meantime, if he is good to us, he'll just, so again the person there gets up and just sees, then he signs, you see. Says, are you sitting quietly? Are your eyes open? He will ask, yes Baba, go and sit down. So that's his goodness. That gives us a little bit of movement, you see. We find that what is this old man trying to do? We are seated there, but later on we realized that he, in his compassion, in his love for us, gives us this little scope to make movement, you see. So that's how it was. Then afterwards, there will be this again, after some, say, 20 minutes or half an hour, that would be the sign. He would make it on his body, see, while rest. That was a sign to press his feet or press his body. So the person who is there would go there and goes on pressing, you see, very softly, gently, without much pressure or anything of the sort. Just there, just there. Well, that's good. Gradually, it's now about, say, 8 o'clock now. So, first few signs, you see, that we see of is deep breathing, you know. And then the snore, first snore. People wonder, did God-man snore? Did he sleep? Did he snore? Of course, why shouldn't he? You might as well ask, did he eat? Why shouldn't he eat? Do you mean to say that he lives on air or anything of the sort? He used to eat, he used to drink water and have everything. So he begins to snore. The man who is there feels so happy and comforted that his little massage to his body has given the body some rest. Little does he know that this man doesn't sleep. Yeah. But in the beginning it is so, in spite of it, knowing fully well that he is there, it's in his awake state, but the psychological effect is such that really we did feel that, well, he is having rest now. So very gradually you just move your leg, you see, from the position that you are doing there. On his bed, we sit on the bed there, on the edge of the bed, while pressing his body. So we make a little movement. There is a movement of the legs. What is, he'll say, well, don't disturb. See how you disturbed my sleep, you see. So again, same position, half the foot is like that. So go on, it's like that. So that's how it was. Now,
how would you sit on the bed? Facing out or?
No, it will all depend, you see. Sometimes, you see, the one night we feel that it is good to sit halfway, you see, facing him half and facing away halfway. Sometimes we found, later on I found that it was useless to do that because I used to get a pain, you see, in my back, all the time being like that. So I used to do and squat like this, you see, on the edge of the bed, yeah. Then when he would take a turn, naturally it might be somewhere on my lap or something like that. So then we just move a little bit, you see. So he'll just do that,
Like
you know.
move?
Yeah. So then that's how we sit on the edge. We have to be very particular about it. So it all depends upon how you feel comfortable. Who is the man there wanting to feel comfortable? But once you are caught in a position, you have to hold the position. That's the trouble.
Caught.
Yeah. So then it will go on, but then he'll again give us a little relaxation, call for water. You sit down there. So he sits there. Again, you see, he'll just say something, you know, the points for the next morning, so to say, would be this, that, remind me about this, remind me. So he jotted down, you see, all the points there. And then he'll say, is there anything to eat? So the boxes are open, somewhere some biscuits are there, or some toffee or chocolate or whatever it is, or something there. So he says, yes, Baba, this chocolate is there, biscuit is there, this, what do you want? Bring biscuits. So biscuits are brought. You see. Biscuits are kept there. A tin of biscuits. Now I'll give you another instance. Now Bhau is there as the watchman there. So this is what Bhau tells us one day, what happened there. So he's there, and it was a chocolate tin that day. It was a chocolate tin that day. There were biscuits and chocolates. Touch means little slabs of chocolate. Sometimes he liked cheese also. So there would be slices of little cheese kept there, you see. So he might take one. But he's seated now. It's now 9:30, mind you. So he's there, and then he's telling Bhau, now what about the next ghazal? Has he thought of any ghazals there while pressing his body or anything? Any other things? So while he's having something, you know, he goes on eating. But this happened one night, and it's a very important thing for you all to know. So what happened was this, that immediately after he sits and asks for some food or something like that, so naturally windows are all shut, the panes are there, glass panes, and lamp is put outside so that it may not, the smoke is not inside, the pollution is not there in the room. So lamp is outside, through the window panes, you know, you get little reflection of the light. So something happened, he put the tin on the bed there, and immediately thought of something, you know, with the window, trying to remove the curtain to get the light inside, because we need light to see his gestures. So he went there. In the meantime, the lid of the tin box, very tiny tin, it fell while his legs were there, dangling from the bed. It fell on his foot. And he made such a row about it. He says he's so much hurt about it. He's so much hurt. The pain is so much pain, unbearable pain. I can't bear the pain and all this. So he tells Bhau how foolish it is for him. Could he not have put the tin or the lid properly? He is not taking any care and all that. And the pain is unbearable. And then he just refuses to eat. And he leaves the whole thing back and says, tell it. Then he again goes back, you see, to sleep there, and puts we put the cover, Bhau puts the cover on, and again Bhau goes and sits quietly and says, keep your eyes open and do not budge and all that. Again, after 2 minutes, he gets up again. He says, do you know how much pain you have given me like this? How much I am suffering here? All this suffering. Could you not have placed the tin properly and all that? Oh, Bhau accepts the fact that, well, it was his mistake, Baba. But how is it possible, after this was repeated half a dozen times, mind you, Bhau starts thinking, how is it possible for the omnipotent to feel hurt and suffer for just the tin that has fallen there? And it's very light in weight. It hasn't given any wound there or anything. Why is he going on pestering me like that? So the mind starts working naturally. Human mind is there. So it is like that. So then it so happened that, well, after a long time, now it's his time to go. Somebody is to be relieved now. He's to be relieved by somebody. So there, at the time, Baba says to him, what are you thinking? Nothing much. But what is that little that you think? So, nothing. He says, no, tell me, what are you thinking? Come and sit here. What is it? So he says that, well, my thoughts are there, that you take upon yourself the suffering of the whole universe and all that. If you can't bear this little head from the tin, how is it possible to have the suffering of the whole world? You can't bear. You feel, you say that you are hurt here, and you have so much pain, and you can't bear the pain and all. What is all this? So then Baba smiles. Had he not given us that indication there that night, today we wouldn't have been able to tell this story to you all of his being the perfect person, a comforter, a perfect guide, the redeemer and everything. So he laughs at Bhau and says that, oh, you madman, what are you talking about universal suffering? That is nothing compared to the suffering that I am having today, you see. That universal suffering is nothing. That pain that I am having, you see, because of my universal suffering is nothing in comparison to this hit that I have got it. Who are you after all to question such a thing, you see? Haven't you surrendered to me? Aren't you my slave? He says, yes, Baba, I am your slave. He says, if you are my slave, and slave indeed you are, and I am your Lord, so it is my bounden duty to extract perfect work from my slave. So what pains me is not the hurt, that hit that I got it, is but your carelessness in putting this lid there. You should serve me as a slave, and diligently you should serve me. Be very practical about everything. Had you put the lid properly in its own place, or removed it and kept it there and just kept the box there, I wouldn't have had that. Your carelessness is the pain and suffering that is much more than my universal suffering and the pain. So it is my bounden duty to draw your attention to it, because you are my slave and I am your Lord. So it's my duty now. So I tell you that. So then Bhau realized it and kept quiet. He says, what's the time? It's time now. In the meantime, the other one who was champing at the bits, you see, his time has come. So he enters with a torch and all that, you see. Very softly opens the door. So Bhau is there in a sullen mood. So he looks at him. Then he gets up. And Baba is again in bed now by this time. The door is softly open. Somebody else enters there. Bhau softly goes out, you see, without making noise. And just the man takes his seat there. And he knows that he has not to make a noise. So he sits there. In 2 minutes or 3 minutes, again Baba is up there. What's the time? So time he looks and says, 10:42 or something like that. So Baba says, keep your eyes open, don't stir, don't budge and all that, be seated there. You see, I haven't any rest, you see, I want to rest today and relax. Don't disturb me. Yes, Baba. That's perfect. So he sits there, you see. And it goes on and on and on and on. Everything is quiet there. Nothing budges, no noise. The silence of the room is so perfect that the man himself is afraid to breathe, you see. It is so true, I tell you. Yeah. He can't make the slightest noise. Nothing is stirring there, you see. But the deep breathing of the Lord is there. And now this man, it's winter time, say, he has the urge to piddle. And then he tries to control, and he sits quietly. And then he is thinking now, when will the good Lord get out of his sleep and call me so that I can request him to go out, you know. When he's just waiting for that moment, when he will get disturbed from his sleep, you know. There is an instance when he is all out to give him comfort and sleep, you see. This is now see, this is how the variations take place in one's mind, you see. So, after some time, again there is that. So he is very eager now. He goes close to him. He says, before he is seeing to Baba's gestures, may I go out to piddle, Baba? So Baba says, go and come back soon. So then he goes out, opens the door, he piddles somewhere in the garden there, washes the hand there, and comes back and sits there. Baba, then in the meantime, Baba sits on the bed there, says, "You had your piddle?" Says, "Yes." It's good. Never try to suppress it, when you want to go and for your toilet or piddle, never do that. It will affect your health. So yes, so we feel so happy about it, that he is taking so much care, and all that. Now, let there be a little digression in this story, from day-to-day affairs. Let us transport ourselves on a must tour somewhere, because this reminds me of another instance which is diametrically opposite to this. So here is, we have toured a lot. It is also day-to-day affair. It comes in that, but we are transported from Meherazad now to a place in northern India somewhere. So there, we have traveled a lot and we are tired, and Baba wants us to have a place for us to retire for the night. So where do we go? We go to a big, somebody's samadhi there, where they have got a lot of pilgrim rooms and all that, and we can hire them, and we go there for the night. So we hired a room for Baba, and it is about 10 o'clock in the night that we reach there, and the whole place is full of all flooring, nice tiles and everything, perfect there, We are tired and we rush there, and Baba says he's so tired he wants to go to bed. Bed means not bed that we have. Bed means on the floor with a little blanket spread out. So he is there retiring. He gives us again the same instructions to keep watch and all that at different hours, and he retires. Somebody is there seated now. So it was Gustadji's turn there. And then he's seated there outside on a masonry bench there. And he does not know now what's all happening. He is made to wake up, at the dead of the night, because it's his turn to sit. And Gustadji, being an old man, he sits there. So, and there he sits, and he sits, and he sits. From inside the room comes the deep breathing, the noise there. And now he is so impatient that he wants to piddle. And he does not know what to do, because he has not had any chance to piddle after having arrived there. Nobody had any chance, and the place is so full of flooring, and the tiles are there, and the carpets are there. They don't know where to go. It's all darkness. We don't know what's happening, So he is now thinking, because of the urge that is there, that he would cross that bench there, and naturally behind the bench, he creates a psychological barrier, is not sanctified. So we can go there and piddle there and come back, Because what can he do? He can't control himself now. But now how to get up? Because Baba's instructions are not to budge, But now he hears Baba snoring. Then incessant clapping comes from Baba. And that incessant clapping is a signal that leave everything and come immediately, run to me. So again, with that signal, all that urge to piddle is, you know how it is. Sometimes when you are in this sort of a call, all of a sudden there's no urge. It's finished, it's vanished. So he just ties his knot and opens the door, and is there. Baba says to him, "Don't budge, don't stir. Keep seated at one place. Keep your eyes open and be watchful." Gustadji says, "What's the matter?" "Only just this. I thought that there is something there." So he looks at the sky. He's there. There's no much urge there. He's disappointed. So he looks at the sky. It's all starry and all that. He just does not know. Another half an hour passes by. Once again, the urge surges in him with redoubled force, and he does not know what to do. So again, he hears Baba snoring, and Baba is snoring there. And now again he puts his leg out there and he wants to go. But before doing that, he is trying to see how deep it could be. Can he jump? What is the thing? And what does he see? There are stars there below. So he is so horrified. Again that urge subsides. Because there is a depth over there. It's an abyss there, So what he finds, there is reflection of the sky. So he looks up there, the sky is up there, and there must be this water underneath there. There was a big lake there, just behind that, just there, with a sheer drop. and the benches were put there, It must have been it was a beautiful place when we saw it the next morning. Gustadji was so horrified that in the morning, of course after his turn, he went back to sleep, and all that, I don't know what had happened to all that accumulated urine, it was there. So in the morning we found our places, we evacuated and everything was over. First thing in the morning, he leads me with my hand there and says, what is this? I said, yes, it's a beautiful lake, nice place. He says, last night I was to drop myself in this. Then he gives me the story. He was silent also. So in his silence he describes. So we told Baba about it. So Baba laughed. But you were snoring, Gustadji said. He says, yes, it's there. So that's how it is, that his sleep was the sleep of the awake one. Same thing another time here in Meherazad. Bhau was seated outside instead of sitting inside the room on the first floor where he occupied the room. And Baba had admonished him many times and says, don't budge, don't move and all that. And he was seated outside and he was, poor fellow, keeping watch over there. And Bhau tells me one thing, great now. That is a different thing about his snoring and all that. Here, Baba is resting there. He is confident that he is resting. Hours had passed by. Many hours had passed by like that. And he was having pins and needles, unbearable. So, with the deep breathing, all what he did was he was sitting like this. And hours had passed by, and this had become numb totally. So what he did was, he just did this. And immediately there was a clap. So he goes inside. So Baba says, I told you not to budge, why did you do it? So that's another sign that there are no barriers, for him. So these are the days with him, that we get confirmation, of who he is in the night. That is the day, office hours, Yeah. So this is how it is. So now it goes on like that. Then somebody's turn comes and the whole night passes by. Every now and then there are these interruptions or these intermissions of rest, so-called rest. And in that we learn our lessons, So it's now time, early hours it's the dawn now, you may call it. And again, the last watch is there. It's time. So Baba says, what's the time? It's there. He says, press the body. Usually my turn would come in the early hours of the morning, say from 4 o'clock onwards. So then I would massage my body and press it hard and this and that, and just circulation is there and everything's there. Now it's time and all that. So there, of course. So Baba says, now you leave. So I go. So there's a bell there. So he puts the finger there, the bell rings. That's a sign that the women can come now. So they come with the paraphernalia, Mera goes there, Mani goes there, the Serrano and others, the water basin and all sorts of things, pots and pans and all that. And again a big bib is put there, for him to wash his face, and water is being taken there and all that, And a lot of, how women with the toilets, And, Baba is the beloved is there, so he must wash his face properly. And now, what is to be done now? So his routine was, somehow or other, it so happened that he got stuck, with Forhan's toothpaste for a long time. Have you heard of Forhan's toothpaste?
What?
Forhan's. It's good for gums, they say. So that brand of toothpaste somebody must have brought sometime. So Baba naturally, because he brought it with all love and all that, says it's good, very good. So all thought that, he liked Forhan's toothpaste, Not forgetting that it was brought with all love and Baba accepted with love. But then it so happens that Baba is trying to praise his love, Baba is trying to, register his love. In doing so, he gets himself caught. People think that he likes this brand much or he likes this much, and that is his preference. That's how it is. So Forhan's got stuck, I know, for years together. And it was World War II also, and there were no Forhan's, but they said that Forhan's must be brought. So somehow or other I used to collect Forhan's toothpaste for him. And because collecting means what? Not hoarding or anything else, because the way he would use, the tube would be given in his hand, You know how a person just tries to squeeze the tube. Just gradually you get a film out of it, or a little roll out of it, or whatever you call it. But here you just press it, you see, and the whole thing would come out. So it would, you'll put all that, you see, and then just keep it in the mouth like that. So sometimes when I would be on tour, I said, Baba, don't do that. We don't get foreign now toothpaste, as if he needed all that, you see. So that is our foolishness. Now I realize all this, but we were so practical in those days, you see. Now I realize what has happened, you see, to us, and what had happened to us, you see. As ordinary human being, the dealings with it. I'd say that this is not the way, Baba. It's wastage. Why do you want? I'll give. No, he says, give me that toothpaste. So that's how it is. So that's how. And now we realize that he must be teasing us all the time, you see, or giving us a scope to go out in the market with all that thought that we must get it for Baba, Baba, Baba. One way or the other, by hook or crook, he made us remember him. Yeah, that's his way. That's how he works. That's how the master works. You see.
Was he neat when he did it? You know, or was he...
Yeah, neat.
Well, I mean, when he put it,
he won't eat it. He
keep
it.
Was he neat or was he sloppy when he put it on the toothpaste? You know,
what do you mean by
like
neat?
A baby.
Like a baby.
No. But then he'll just go on, you see, rubbing his gums or mouth or anything like that. He had teeth. Some of the molars were there at the time, Corey. Yeah, he was asking me. So he would just rub there and keep it in the mouth and then gargle. And of course, like a baby, you know how it is, then he will splash water and wash his face and soap. Another thing, another brand, again same thing. For many years, Cuticura Soap, toilet soap, was the brand that he was using, you see. So we would go out, all out, you see, to get Cuticura, you see. And that's how it was. So these were the two that lasted long, even till the very end, most probably. Till somehow or other it was switched over to, which one was that Ranamas would bring? Rana? What do you call? No. What do you call that? Big ones, you know?
Ivory?
Yeah, well, not ivory. There was something, you see. Camay, right. Camay, yeah. That was in the later years. Camay, that's right. How do you know that?
I heard that.
You heard that. So that was how it went on like that. So then, of course, with all that water, warm water, lukewarm water, he will first feel the water, you see, whether it was proper temperature. So then, of course, the water would be poured. Not that he could not take it, not that he could not wash his face himself, not that he could not do it, but he used to give us rare opportunities to serve, to be to be one-pointed in our duty and attention to him. So these are the things that we realized gradually. In our how it began, our fervor, our love, you see, wanted, we would like to do that. She would vie, you see, with the other woman who is permitted to do that. How it will be, I will do it and all that. But then they thought, then Baba would look, come on now, you today give me what? But does that mean that he was disabled? That he could not do it himself? On the contrary, it was much burdensome. Do you know when you have to wash your face, and if somebody is helping you and doesn't pour the water in proper proportion, how burdensome it is? Have you all gone through that process? Yeah, I know it myself, you see. So I would rather prefer to have it and just pour the water and do it and finish it. But no, he permitted them to do it and he underwent so much, you see, for giving an opportunity to each one to come closer and closer and closer to him. It was such a gradual process, and with what pains he brought all these people who are now here closer and closer to him. At what pain, at what cost? It was this. Yeah. So, well, that is all over now. And then, of course, a new napkin is given, a napkin and all that. That bib is removed, you see. It is all drenched with water, you know, that splashed, you see. You would splash the water and finish. So afterwards, he just takes another seat there and breakfast is put there. And his favorite is, what you call, you know, here we have that skimmed cream, you see, from the milk. We boil the milk. We don't have pasteurized milk or anything of the sort. There's the milk that we get, buffalo's milk, water buffalo or milk buffalo, what do you call it? Boil the milk, keep it overnight, and you get a thick layer of cream, you see. So that is skimmed and put there. He liked that very much. Not only he liked it, but he had preference for it. So whenever we went out for must tours and all that, And the heat of hunger, the heat of exhaustion is so great, that we used to feel that inside, burning all the time. So Baba would say that this is very good for that. Eat this. Because we need it. Although we outwardly looked very fatty, you see. But that doesn't mean that fat was not required. It was needed. That's what Baba says. So he would ask us to have a plate full, saucer full of cream each one, with bread. That would be others. Breakfast. Whenever he had the pleasure to give us a breakfast, stand us a breakfast, you see, with little sugar put on that. And he liked that. And a cup of tea. And his way of drinking tea was not through the sip from the cup. He had a special saucer, a bowl-like thing. The whole tea is put there, you see, and then he would drink it like that. Sometimes if it is warmer than is usual, so he'll blow, as a human being would blow, and then drink it. So that's how you'd go on with his breakfast. While having breakfast, there will be all sorts of chats and laughter and this and that. Might ask somebody, how did you sleep? He would just inquire with the women there over there, see, did you all sleep? What happened? And somebody would say about somebody's dream, or somebody having a nightmare, or somebody had a Baba dream and all that. So that went on. Now, the day is passing by, mind you. Nearly now it's 7 hours, from 6 o'clock, now it is 12 hours have passed by of the day, which we call the night, you see. So now it's time now. Very soon there will be, here all the Mandali are awake, say at about 5 o'clock, and they are ready now, anticipating Baba and wanting to keep themselves ready. Last minute letters are to be written, last minute chores are to be done, you see, that Baba had asked us to do this and do that, and whether that nail is put, whether that particular notice is put, whether that circular is ready, what has happened to that. Everything is perfect and made ready to receive him. Just then, by that time, we have our own tea. Our tea would be tea and chapati. That would be our breakfast. So we have our tea and breakfast, and some have bath there in the morning, some don't have, you see. And we are ready, anticipating him. Just then there will be the bell. All there. Most of them will go. Not all would go. Some would be here, some would be doing the last minute things, you see, and most of them would go there to receive him. So they will be there. Baba is already there, seated there, you see, and they wish Baba, and then he's brought here in a procession again. Takes his seat here, and the day begins. The so-called morning begins, you see. So then, we are all here. Then Baba, we are all standing, you see, waiting for his order. So then we'll say, Baba would say, sit down. So we all sit down, you see. Each one having his own particular place, you know. Today I feel myself foreign here because my place was there, you see. Yeah, I'm at a different place today. I feel myself a stranger here. So it's like that. Then he goes on looking, inquiring after the others, wanting to see what are the reactions and how are you all. So then he'll inquire about our health and whether we slept and all. It goes on, same repetition is there every day, almost every day, the same thing. Then anything new, that would be the sign. Is there anything new to report? So
A spirit?
A spirit, yeah. Spirit Baba would say, he'd take interest and ask, Spirit, you saw it here? So, it's not harmful at all, Baba would say. So, what happened? So Gustadji says, when I went to piddle, that was the sign for Gustadji to piddle. When I went to piddle, I saw something white, you see. And that whiteness started growing taller and taller, and you know Gustadji's yarns, you see. It will go it went right above, you see, and almost touched the sky. Baba says, did it touch the sky? Could you see it? So he says, very tall. You see. And how old had he any beard or anything? Yes, he had a very flowing beard and all that sort of thing. So that's good. Then he would enjoy. And Gustadji with his silent gestures would go on telling, you see, all sorts of yarns, and I would put spice in it, you see, and make him laugh, and he would enjoy. It went on like that.
You would translate Gustadji and then you translate Baba.
Yeah, both like that, you see.
You'd add to it to make it more interesting.
Yeah. So Gustadji wanted that way, you see. So that was the morning thing. to give a pep, so to say, for Baba, And it would go on like that. Then afterwards, what about the reports, letters? Any mail has come? That is a sign for mail. So he says, yes, the heap is here all the time there, ready. I am anxious, you see. I'm more anxious to finish that, you see, than all this yarn and all that. Because naturally, office work is to go on. Go ahead with it. There are so many cables, you see, that needed urgent replies, telegrams, inland telegrams, letters, and so forth. So now, here the office starts. Now what will happen is, if Corey goes on doing like that, then he will either throw a board from there to her, or will slap. He says, what are you doing? Why are you sleeping? Didn't you have sleep in the night? Didn't you sleep last night? So, no, Baba, I did have sleep. Then why are you sleeping? Why? Or somebody yawning, you see. He'll say, what is this yawning? This was a sign for yawning, Why is this yawning here? Yeah. So then again, we are all alert, you see. Now the correspondence, and you know how drag it is for those who are not concerned. I go on reading one after the other, the first the cables, you see, then Baba gives some reply to the cables, so I jot down some points, you see, and then another cable, another cable. And what would it be, you see, that somebody has died and Baba, surely because that person has taken your name must have come to you, so Baba's reply would be there. Somebody is getting married, somebody is born, and somebody is getting separated, and somebody has had a fight, you see. All together, somebody's birthday is there, so Baba blessed me for the birthday. All put together, you see, it was a sort of a stew, a divine stew, you see, of the activities of human beings, So it was like that. So all it would come. And what about the reaction on our mind, you see? The reactions on our mind who are directly involved with such a thing is how ephemeral the whole thing is. How stupid, insignificant, you see. The whole panoramic view that comes before us makes us feel how stupid the whole affairs of the world is. You see. That was the reaction that we used to have. With that, naturally, all the letters are read. Then reports. The reports would come. One after the other, the reports from the centers, you see, would come. Pour in, you see. So the reports would be read, you see. There will be dissensions and fights, you see, among Baba people there. That somebody did that and somebody said this and somebody did that, and that he wouldn't want, you have created me as the group head and Baba, that somebody is now trying to create another group there, and so forth. So write a letter. With that Baba would give us some points, so take down the points, then all that is to be, means these are the points that he gives, we have to write the letters, you see, from that. So it's all piled and stored, you see. Everything is over now. In the meantime, Gaver comes, you see. It's time for Baba to have some soup or something like that. Because there at the breakfast, although it is said that he liked the cream most and all that, and he was given the cream and given the little bread to eat, but he must have taken a couple of morsels and distributed it to the women there, or kept it like that, had just a cup of tea and that's all. So he needed some little nourishment. So Gaver, being the doctor, would bring some, and he liked that dal soup, lentil soup, plain lentil, salted. So this water on that, plain water, would be brought here. So it will be brought. Baba says, what is this? Or sometimes it will be, what do you call, apple, grated apple. Huh? Yeah, grated apple. Or sometimes it might be orange juice or something like that. So it would be kept there. So Baba would look there. Gaver would be coming, so Baba, when she comes here, you see, Baba will give a look at her, so what is this, why did you bring it here? And sometimes you see trying to tease Gaver, says, why did you come and disturb us, you see, at this odd hour with this sort of thing, So with Baba it is necessary, you take it. So she'll stand there, says, go away from here. So, but you take it. So then she will insist upon him taking it. So he'll take it. So says, now he'll start drinking, as he had told you, from a ball, you see. Then he'll say, now you can go with one hand. He says, you go. So he'll drink, and then again, he says, come on, you take it, you take it, you see. And then he'll distribute the whole thing.
You give it to your wife.
Like that. So we then, but this went on, it was good for us, we liked it, was prasad, but we now, later on, the last years, we realized that it is not proper to deprive him of little nourishment that is there like that by accepting it. But we can't even refuse it. God himself is offering it. How can we refuse it? But at the same time, love is such a thing, or whatever you call that affection, as Baba called us. Our love was affection, no love at all. So that affection prompted us, you see, to find excuses. That Baba, I don't like sour, you see, my tooth is aching today. If it is a fruit juice or something like that, or hot soup or something like that. Baba, I just had my pan, see, like that, you see. Something trying to just... So then he will just look here and there. But he will have his point, you see. And Gustadji was the person who would have everything, you see. Irrespective. He'll take it, yes. So that would be the thing. So, well, it was like that. It was so. So it is so. And I tell you that. Then afterwards, you see, in the meantime, after having a hot cup of this little soup that he had, which must have been a cup of it, so he must have had half of it, say. So he might get an urge to sit on the potty. That is the sign for it, you see. So get the potty here. Potty would be always ready, you see, for him. Potty means a commode. You know what potty means? A commode. Stool on which you evacuate. You have your toilet done, you see. So it's brought here near him. It's on this red carpet, you see. So of course he's helped and made to sit there. So he sits there. And he, again, you see, is there anything, or he faces us, and then the conversations continue, as if there is nothing, no break, nothing in that, whether he's on a potty or on his throne or anywhere, any bed or anything. In the meantime, there is somebody on the watch that says, Mr. Padir has come, you see, you know, a village officer here. So he says, he has come. So he has come. So Baba says, he has come, call him inside. But Baba, he is a village officer there. You are on the potty. So what? He says, call him inside, you see. So he comes. So this man, you see, sees him on a potty, and you can see that he is with his other. And he's seated like that. So he says, well, what made you come here? So he goes on telling, you know, that this is this is that, and all that sort of thing. Oh, it's that. You know. So he gives replies and everything, and then he's sent off. Some other visitors have come, you see. Some dignitary has come, you see. So he wouldn't care for it. Whether he's on a potty or on his seat, he didn't care. Sometimes he would refuse. No, he wouldn't see anybody while sitting on the chair or anywhere like that. So it is like that. After he finishes the potty, naturally somebody pours water there and he will wash his fanny himself, and then we'll remove that, make him sit there, and then we'll take the chair away. And that's how it would be. We'll clean the pot and again resume. Afterwards he'll say, now what's the time? Still there is some time. In the meantime, the newspapers would come, messengers will come with more mail and all that sort of thing. Every now and then Adi would be the one who would be functioning there, the main office there. From there, all the things would be supplied here. So if the paper has come, and if there is nothing now, so he'll say, well, it's time for bogus news. All the news is over. Or he might stop us, you see, from reading all the reports and all that, and says, wait, it's too much now, keep it. So now read something. So the newspaper to be read, he would say that would be the bogus news. That he won't say newspaper. It's like that, paper, but bogus news. He'll just say, and with good humor and smile. So we would read the newspaper. The method of reading was that we had to read the headlines. I used to read the headlines. And if he were to clap, then I had to change from one headline to another caption. But if he didn't clap, then I had to read the whole write-up after the caption. So that's how I would read. So sometimes he would have a hearty laugh, you see, from some comics that were reported, you know. Or sometimes it would be a very, a calamity would be reported or something like that. So he might comment about it. See, people come and go, they die and they're born and all that. Whatever comments in between would be there. But hearty laugh that I still remember were on two occasions when there was reported, you see, in Australia, that there was a bet between two people. One chap said that he would eat the whole car, you know, more automobile car, yeah, with all its tires and battery and engine and all that, for just £100 Australian. So we would go through that, you see, sometimes the reports that would come, you know, what has happened and all that. So that made him laugh and, tickled him. So another ticklish thing was that there were two people found missing in a lunatic asylum in Calcutta, you know. And eventually they were found, you know, your Golden Gate Bridge, you know, There you have those towers there. So likewise in Calcutta there is another bridge, a suspension bridge, long one, but it's not as big as Golden Gate, but it's similar to that. So after some days of absence of these two lunatics, people started spotting some people are right on the top of the tower. You see, some two little dots there. So they started looking, how crowd is. You see, when two people start looking up, there are 4 others collected, and 40 and 400 and 4,000. So there was a road jam, not knowing what to do. So they started looking, you see, through binoculars, and they found 2 men were there, you see. And then they started bringing in something more to find out what are they doing there right on the top of that. And what they found was that they were playing cards right on the top. So Baba himself expressed a great intrigue. He says, but how could the cards remain there in that at that height? How could they play it? Sheer madness. So we said, but they were mad, Baba. They are the mad lunatics, you see. So that's how, you see, the conversation will be conducted, and there will be humor exchanged, you see, like that. So, and again after some time you say, but when everything is over, right in the midst of reading the reports also, again you say, but how could those 2 people, how could they have climbed that place? That's how he would express. Yeah. So that's how the day would pass by, you see. And what else have we missed? So then of course it's time for him to take in for lunch. Or he wouldn't want to go for lunch, he would sit late hours over here, and something would be brought here, you see, for lunch. Or he would go there and come back again. And again in the evening, Ghavar would be coming on the bicycle there, and so forth. And it's like that. So again we'll go back in the evening, leave him there, and the day would begin there. So that's a sort of a resume of what I recall now of a day with Baba.
When he was sitting, for example, visitors would come, would he pay deference to the position of the man? Would he treat worldly important man with due dignity, or would he just...
Very often. He would give him his just dues. That's why I make give this particular word, you see, just dues. And very often, almost invariably, but not always, we would find that he is given his just dues by making him sit close to him or making him feel comfortable. If he is old, he will be made comfortable on a seat, on a chair or anything like that. Or if he is a dignitary, he would be given respect. He would receive the man with such a gesture that we would also go out of our way to give him due respect and all that, make him sit and make him feel comfortable. He would either come down to the lowest level with anybody coming here, or he will rise himself to higher level for anybody as a dignitary would come, whatever it be. Yeah. There will be ministers coming. Yeah. There will be the president of the Congress coming, you see, to him. So it will be there like that. But they themselves would keep at a distance. They would want, Baba never said that offer a chair to that person, you see. If he comes and sits down on his own near him as we sat, it's well and good. But if he were to just fumble, you see, and look where the chair is or something, then Baba would say, give him chair. Why? What are you looking? He's such a big person, digging, giving a sort of a dig there. Such a big person has come and you sit quietly, give him a chair. He wants a chair. You see that? That's how he would do it. So we'd run and give a chair and make him sit comfortably. And then Baba says, are you comfortable? It's all right. Come on, now what's this? If he sits, then he would say, while after the person would go away, say, see how humble he is, holding such a high position. Like the Congress leaders would come. Congress president had come, you see. He would sit on the ground. So see how it is. Such leaders can conduct the masses, you see. They are the right people, he would say. But then some odd officer would come, you see, with little mustard in his brain or something like that, you see. So Baba would cater to his need. But when he would leave, he says, of what use holding such a high position? When he does not know how to carry himself properly. It's like that. So such comments would come and go. I still remember Kirpal Singh had come to Baba, you see. He used to come quite frequently. So on one occasion, the last occasion was at Guru Prasad. So he came with his followers. So he, of course, with due respect, bowed down to Baba, and Baba made him sit there and all that by his side. And all of a sudden, these devotees were standing there. Baba signals them to sit down, but they remain standing and they're looking here and there. So Baba says, what is it that you want? So he says, there is a nice sofa there. Maybe lift for him and bring it. So Baba says, yes, bring the sofa there. So they tried to lift the sofa seat. You see, there was in Guru Prasad, it was all furnished, you see. So they tried to lift the sofa. So when they were lifting the sofa, Kirpal Singh turns to them and says, what are you all trying to do? This is my place here. So it was Kirpal Singh who stopped them from doing that, you see. So Baba patted him on the back and said, you're right. Tried to get Connie Bear in the house of the collector, of the district.
Is this in 54?
Yeah. Now what had happened is that your point, see how it is brought out now. What happened is Baba was very happy that a collector did not come and see Baba or anything, but her person, so to say, was just there, foisted on this collector family. And well, the collector accepted it with being a Westerner, a lady, and an oldish lady. It was good. Baba liked it. Baba appreciated it without telling him anything. Well, next day there was the darshan program. So, Pukar, what tendency he has. He has a sort of an eye for equality. And he was formerly that revolutionary, So, and everybody must have equal status. No, there should be no differentiation of status or anything. That's his mentality was at the time. And it was for the first time that he had made arrangements for Baba's darshan and all that on his own. Formerly he was much against Baba. So now he is there and Baba is made to sit on a chair, and that chair was also a rickety chair, because what need is there for the godman to have the best of the chair? Yeah, and so forth. So such were the ideas. So these people were squatting on the earth, bare earth, mind you. Now Connie Bear, collector and his wife, they all come to attend. It was his goodness to have come there. Collector is supposed to be the king of the place, according to the revenue department here in India of the district. He is the governor. He is a sort of a governor of the district, you see. So now he comes. They are standing. So Baba tells one of us, who were with him, says, get a bench or something like that, make them sit down. From he is giving darshan to the masses there. There he is telling us to do it. So we go out somewhere, you see, and run and bring a nice bench and make them sit with due respect. Pukar didn't like it. He flared up. So naturally, in the midst of all that crowd, he saw that there was a preferential treatment given to these people, but he wanted to point out to the masses. He had different notions. He wanted to point out to the masses that the God-man is such that he doesn't differentiate between mankind, you see. And it was shattered. His whole image was shattered here, you see. And what had we done? So Baba tells him, keep quiet, calm down, you see. So he just gulps, you see, down, you see, that intolerable attitude, you see, of Baba's people to make them comfortable and all that. And he sits there, he's out of mood and all that. So after the crowd left, so he says, do you mean to say that because they were the collectors and high officials or dignitaries and his wife had come, that I wanted them to have a preferential treatment? You thought that, isn't it? He says, yes. You thought that you wanted to tell the people that how, in presence of Baba, there is no discrimination whatsoever. It's so true. Your thoughts are right. But do you mean to say that the discrimination was shown because of their dignity or their position? No. I wanted them to be repaid. I wanted to express appreciation for what they had done for my lover in Connie Bear. Without my asking them, they had become the host for her. So haven't I, being the Lord, a little, liberty to express my appreciation there and call for a bench to make them sit down? He was so touched by this. He says, I'm so sorry to think differently. He says, yes, that's my gesture. Let them feel homely in my presence. Their ways of thinking, their ways of sitting, their postures, they can't sit with like you see, and squat on the earth like that with their trousers on and clean-cut dresses and all that. They can't sit like that. If they would want to sit like that, but they won't be comfortable. Their attention would not be one pointed on me. What is needed is that they should be with me when they are near me. But they will be uncomfortable all the time thinking about their comfort. So you should have these little discriminations, you see, not because of their position or they are great or anything of the sort, but from different angle. Whether they are comfortable, whether there is any appreciation for anything that they have done for my work. I don't want to carry any debt on my head. I always discharge my duties, you see, and just appreciate whatever is being done. That's what he had said that day to Pukar.
What was it like to try to give Baba a bath in the later years?
Yeah, so it was a bath, you see, in later years, the last year, you see, he had stopped taking bath or anything else. So it was very difficult for us. We wanted his body to be kept trim. Pores must start breathing, you see, otherwise they were choked up with all things, you know. So what had happened is that the last years, you may call them, or the most last month, according to God Speaks, you see, we use the word. Yeah. So very, you see, were months, you see, where we were very much concerned with Baba's body, because he neglected it mostly, the last years. And the last months, you see, were the months, you see, where he neglected the body most. And we were very anxious. Whatever little we could do for his body, we could do. So people had sent all sorts of things, you see, to massage his body, to keep it in sunlight, to do this and do that and make it move about and all sorts of efforts were being, exerted to see that his body is kept trim and all that. But later on, you know, what had happened, people having heard, and especially lovers from Iran, they thought that his body must be made healthy, so they sent almond oil, you know, from Iran, and they wanted the body to be massaged by oil. Baba didn't like oil at all, you see, on his body. Not about not using oil on his body, but he wouldn't want anybody to use oil on his hair, you see, so that when it comes to him, it doesn't feel that oil. But then they sent it with all love. What to do? The bottles were kept all the time, kept here, you see, in his presence, you see. We wanted that his body should use this. Well, he would look every day. So one day, through sheer exasperation, he says, let us have this and finish off with it, you see. So we used to then use that oil to massage his body and all that. But he wouldn't like it. So I would rub the body off, you see, of the last vestige of oil after the massage and all that. But still, he didn't like it. So after using half of that stock, he says, now it's enough, I've used it. Their love has touched me. You write to them that I have made use of it, but no more now. I said, all right, no more. But then something must be done, you see. Summer months had come, and when you massage the body or when you give a rub and all that, you know how the sweat is pouring out of the person who does that. So it is no good, it gets sticky, you see. So I said, this is no good, Baba. We need something to use over your body. So what should we use it? So talc powder. He says, that's a very good idea. Nice talc. Talc is nice. It has nice scent and all that fragrance. So we started using talc powder, little knowing that it would go against us, you see. So he would want us to pour more powder and more this and massage, and that choked the pores of the body. Yeah. So with great difficulty now, he wouldn't take a bath, or he wouldn't want his body to be sponged or anything of the sort. What is to be done? So eventually we thought of the same technique or tactics, you see, that he employed with the musts. So the musts wouldn't want to take bath, and so he would, with great concern, great love, coax them into taking a bath or taking a wash or a sponge like that. So we started. So eventually we went to such an extent, you see, expressing whenever he would call us or anything, and then we would just make faces, you see, making him feel. So Baba said, what's the matter? Says, some smell, not good smell, you see, somewhere around. You know. So that's how you do it. So he says, what? He says, when your hair needs, Baba, thorough wash and all that. So he would put his hand over the head. It's nice. And so true, his body would smell like a baby's body, that milky smell, fragrance would be there from his body
How
all
much
the
time
time.
would elapse between baths?
This is, I'm telling you, when he had not taken a bath for a year, nearly a year. So he says, yeah, it's all right. Do you think that? So he'll then rub his behind the ear, you see. No smell. Do you get it, see? He says, yes, it's horrible. So then he would just ask us to ring a bell, you see, and call Ghaver from there. So Ghaver would come and say, yes, Baba, what do you want? You remember some years ago, one of my lovers had brought a bottle of scent for me. It must be lying there. Ask Mehra to get that bottle. So the bottle of scent will be brought. So he'll open. See how nice it is? Yes, Papa, it's good. We all like scents. So he tipped it like that and rubbed it like that. And then he says, put it here. So we kept it here. It's still there. That bottle that he had last used is still there in that blue bus. So he tells me, because I was the one who just sniffed and said that it was very smelling. So he tells me that remember this, that whenever any visitors come here for embrace or anything, before they enter, what you do, just take this and apply it. So then there won't be any dirty smell or anything of the sort. I said, again we failed. We can't coax him to take a bath or anything else. What to do now? So then eventually what we thought of, Ghaver and myself and others, what we'll do is at least let his soles be made clean, you see. So they had that dry skin on it, and skin is shed. Every now and then it's rubbed. So without our being aware of it, the skin always is rubbed out and fresh skin grows. So here, now he's not going out for long walks or anything. The soles are getting thicker and thicker with unshed or unrubbed skin of the sole. So now what is to be done? So when we massage, you see, we used to see how much of it comes out and all that. So it's all right. It's all right. It's perfect. It's good. So again, there would be a threatening thing, you see, from there. So today, prior to that, mind you, a year and a half prior to that, this incident, he would come one day he comes and says, do you know, the day has come. Today is the day of my crucifixion. So we said, Baba tells all this every now and then. So he says, take it seriously. Today is the day of my crucifixion. So we just say, yes, Baba. What can we say? I don't know how I will stand that, you see. They insist that I must take a bath today. So that's good. So yes, that's good. My crucifixion, and you say it's good. So that's how he would take it. Huh? Yeah, hair to be washed as well. Oh, it was worse than crucifixion then. So that such are the figures and such are the things that he would say and picture. But then the last months, you see, it was crucial, and we wanted to see that his body must be made clean and the pores must be made open, you see. He must we used to ask him to sit in the sun a little bit so that his body could have sun and all that. But then, bath or water, nothing of the sort. Then, one day it so happened that we coaxed him into just saying that, Baba, what we'll do is wash your feet. Just feet. And wash your soles with nice lavender water. We had a bottle of lavender somebody brought. He liked lavender. See? So Baba says, we said, lavender has come here. We'll make use of it. Some lover has brought for you with great love. Wherever there was question of love, there's no doubt about it. He would go to any extent to accept the thing, you see, through love.
At his discomfort.
Yeah, it is a discomfort, yeah. This is all right. So that was a signal. So we now started using the same technique that we started, you see. We kept everything ready, a lot of hot water, a lot of lavender water, a lot of this and that, and napkins and all that. So we made him sit. It was on his bed there, I still remember. It was there the last days now. We never knew that he was going to drop the body. So but this was the thing that happened just before that. So then we made him sit there with a basin full of water and another basin to put his feet inside, and we scrubbed and had everything was perfect, and lavender, the scent, the fragrance was there. He liked it very much, and he was there and he was smiling, and then after rubbing his soles and all that, you see. So we would do that. So you do that. So he says, what is it? So why are you tickling me like that? You see, he would say. So you know how the tickle. So all the feelings are there, mind you. The human feelings are there. So then, of course, we talk. And then gradually, he says, Baba, there's plenty of water now. It will be all wasted. It will be thrown out. Should we put that another napkin there, and we'll just have this sponge up to the knee? Will be all right. So before he could say yes or no, we go there, you see. So it was there. So that's how it is. So we went, and from the knee on to thigh and to the waist and to the chest and to his neck and to his ears and everything. The whole body was made perfectly clean, and everything opened up and nice with warm water, fragrance and all that. Soon after that, some days, he dropped his body. But before that morning also he said, I had a good shave, eh? How is that? He used to shave with his own hand, you see. That's how it was. So that's how it is.
You once said that he just liked to be in his underwear and his shorts, and you had to dress him for people. And
Yeah. No, not always. In the summer months mostly, you see. It would be, and when he is with the Mandali, he would be there on his shorts there, you see. Yeah, as we call it chaddi. Yeah, you know what chaddis are now. So he'd be there without any sadra or anything of the sort. And if visitors would come, he'd ask them to come inside. They'll come, they'll go. With us it didn't matter because we were all like that. All of us. Almost all, except Gustadji and Kekobad and all, you see. They had that little, what do you call...
Aversion.
Not aversion. It's a sort of a respect. They would, for Baba's presence, you see. We had lost all that sense, you see. That respect, or whatever you call it, we were like dumb animals, really speaking. Yes. But we knew one thing, that whatever he made us do, we did it with all our heart and soul. He got it done. We never did it, really speaking. So they had that little sense of respect, decorum and all that, you see. So they would come with their dress and all that, or howsoever torn and patched it is, but they would come with their coat and pyjama or trousers and sit, you see, like that. The older generation.
Sometimes you told the story of how Baba would sometimes call the Mandali to look at this potty, after he used it, and...
None. Sometimes, when there would be, so much has come out, I feel comfortable now. You see how much it is. Yeah, he'd make us sometimes, very rarely, not always.
And one of the women Mandali was saying, or you were talking about how sometimes he'd eat so little and so much would come out.
He would say that. Yeah.
So well, tonight he got the Chinese out.
Yeah, he would say that at that time, He'll say, well, let us have the Chinese out, like that.
You mean when the war was on?
Yeah, at the time of invasion.
Eruch, what happened during the Israeli war with the Arabs in '67? What was going on? Was newspapers coming in regularly about the war?
Yeah, it was there. He would read, he would hear that. Sometimes he would just give a casual remark. And usually about, at the time, who was the commander with one eye? Moshe Dayan, yeah. His exploits on the war fields, you see, how his spontaneous act, you see, of just paralyzing the other forces, you see, with one sortie of his planes there, you see. So you just comment about it, see how he uses technique and all that, this war strategy and all. That's all.
Do you seem to take sides?
No.
Favorites?
No, nothing. Now, let me remove this garland, eh? Where do I put it? Here? Now let's come back to some better senses, you see. We were just transported to the past, you see. Let us live in the present. The vowel